Guys, we just bought this abandoned 335i for $1,600.
This is an absolute street racing legend. When I say this car right here has smoked hellcat red eyes, V10 Audi R8s, that's not me pulling something out of my rear end. That is something that you will see very soon later in this video.
Now, it may not look like it with the broken bumpers and the crappy fenders, but this thing is an absolute street ripper.
Now, in its current shape, it doesn't run, and it's got plenty of problems, but nothing we can't fix.
When we bought it, luckily the guy was not too far away and we literally towed it home with a tow strap. Currently, we don't know if this motor is trash. We don't know if the transmission is trash. We don't know anything about it, but we do know it has some goodies under the hood.
Right now, we just took a massive gamble on a $1,600 BMW, and it could be a massive waste of money. It could be a massive waste of time, but in the off chance that we can actually figure it out, we're looking at something that is faster than any car that we've ever purchased in our entire life, something that can smoke supercars. I mean, this is the epitome of a supercar slayer, and for 1,600 bucks, I mean, it's the best deal in the world.
Now, we know from surface level, this thing is a pile of junk. I mean, the bumper's barely being held on right now.
It's a bit rough.
Later in this video, we're gonna get under this hood, and let me just tell you, there's some goodies. There's a reason why this thing's fast.
We're talking big turbos, baby.
Now, we don't know much, but we do know this thing has upgraded turbos. So I say we open the hood and figure out what it has. Okay. Ooh, hood struts work. That's a good thing. This is a BMW N54 engine. It is a 3-liter inline 6, and this one came with twin turbos, but this specific car has upgraded turbos. We're talking 19T big Chinese turbo boys.
And on top of the Wuhan war whistles, it's got all the amazing supporting mods, the charged pipes, the upgraded intercooler, the air intakes. They're a little loose, but you know, that's how it goes. We got the upgraded blow-off valve. I'm sure this thing sounds amazing. Now, we took a massive gamble on this $1,600 BMW, and you know what they say, there's nothing more expensive than a cheap German car.
Our goal is to bring this thing back from the dead and actually get it back up to how fast it once was. Before we dive deep into this thing, let's figure out why this car was $1,600.
Okay, first thing we notice, it's got an M3 bumper, a lot of Bondo on it. It's kind of falling apart right now. This looks to me like a real M3 front fender, which is actually really nice. Look how wide it is on this side. Now, if you go to the other side, it looks like just a normal unpainted fender. It's not nearly as wide. So that kind of throws it off a little bit. It would be cool to get the wider M3 fender on the other side, but either way, it's gotta get painted. So believe it or not, this car actually has a clean title, but I don't know if it's been in any accidents, if someone just threw a junkyard fender on it, who knows. We got some 328i wheels. These are butt ugly. They gotta be changed ASAP. We got some carbon fiber mirror caps. On a closer look, a little bit more like Cabron fiber right here. This is just printed. This is, you know, the cheap stuff. Okay, if we take a look at the interior, this one was optioned with red. Nope, I'm kidding. Someone took a paint roller with red paint and painted these seats. You can even see drip marks on them, which is kind of crazy. They didn't do that good of a job, but I do like red interior. So we also got a kill switch right here, which is pretty cool. Race car stuff. A lot of carbon fiber trim back there.
Guys, something scary, very scary just caught my eye. If you look down inside here, it looks like the bumper is being held on by a freaking shoelace. I mean, you know, I do a lot of jank things to put cars together. I've never even seen that before in my life. It looks like it's holding the inner fender to the core support. That's just crazy. Okay, let's move on to the rear end of the car. Now, this thing, just by a quick glance, this is not stock. This is fiberglass, weight savings, baby. This thing has a ducktail spoiler completely built in, and it's already been paint matched. So that's a pretty cool mod. Now, let's check the junk in the trunk. And unfortunately, the battery is completely dead. So we're gonna be using the manual key to open this thing. Oh, there we go. And look at that, the struts are good and everything. And unfortunately, there's nothing cool in here. It's just boring stuff. But battery's completely dead, which makes me wonder why there's a battery here. There's also a battery in there. I don't know. So I guess the next thing would be, let's start testing out the voltage and see if we get this thing started.
Quick reminder, guys, if you want to help support the channel so we can buy more cool cars like this, go get some merch. Backseat Boys shirts, backseatboys.com.
Go support the channel.
Okay, we got the key. Put it in its little key slot. We're in park, foot on brake, go to start, and absolutely nothing. So I'm pretty sure this battery's dead. We can get a new battery and see what happens.
The lights aren't even coming on?
No, nothing. No lights, nothing. This battery is kaput. It's completely dead.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to see how much juice is coming out of that battery. I got a multimeter right here. With there being 2 batteries in the trunk, I think it's pretty obvious that that is where our problem is gonna start. So I guess we gotta figure out if these batteries are any good or any worth saving at this point. So we're in here. First of all, just by looking at this battery, this is a pretty short battery. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably not even enough cold cranking amps for a car like this. Beamers have the really long, big batteries. But just for fun, let's just check voltage. Okay, this is a secondary battery that was just in the trunk, which, yeah, only has 5.5 volts. And then here is the main battery.
What do we got?
Okay, so we checked the main battery that's hooked up to the car right now. What did that read?
1.47.
1.47, yeah. You can't even, guys, you can't even bring this battery back from the dead. At 1.47 volts, this thing is basically as good as garbage. So before we do anything, let's rip this thing out, go get a new battery. Okay, real quick, before we get that battery, I do want to try to jump it to see if we can, you know, do I even hear a starter? Do I see lights turn up on the dash? Just remember, when you do have a completely dead battery, you're not supposed to jump it and let the alternator recharge it because it will cook the alternator. It's not made for that. So I do not plan on running it. I just want to see if we can get some noises to happen. There's a jump point right here. And a jump point, it's right there. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on. We'll go in the car and see if it works. Okay, here we go. Dude, I'm getting nothing.
The button's not working? You're pressing the button?
I'm pressing the button.
Your foot on the brake?
My foot's on the brake.
Any lights?
No lights whatsoever. I mean, the jump pack's completely charged. Like, I know for a fact that jump pack works all the time. So for it to get nothing kind of scares me. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah. I hate wiring, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, literally like nothing.
Let's put a new battery in, see what happens.
Yeah, let's go pick up a battery. Okay, guys, just got back from the store. Heavy ass battery. Let's put this in and hopefully, I mean, if this doesn't do anything, then we might be really fucked. I just noticed something. Do you see this harness right here? Mm-hmm. This harness is not factory. This is some sort of loom. I just don't know enough about these motors. I'm not sure. Here, let me take the battery out. Let's open up. I want to see where these wires go. Maybe there's a short happening. I mean, I don't really know.
Nice.
Got it.
Just break everything in the process.
Look at all this. Oh, that's not good. There's an extra negative terminal. Oh, what is that? That looks like a crush washer for an oil change. Oh boy. And then, yeah, so this is a relay. So there's definitely, I don't know if like anti-lag or what this is.
Maybe for the fuel pump?
Maybe it's for the fuel pump. That actually makes a lot of sense. The fuel pump, guys, in these cars is located under the rear seat. So that could totally be the case. We're gonna have to check back on that. I don't know what that is.
Put the battery in so we can see that Christmas tree dash.
Oh yeah, dude, Beamers hate when you don't have any juice. Like, absolutely hate it. It's probably gonna freak out.
And then this battery works, we gotta program it so it can charge correctly. Just sounds like shit's breaking.
I gotta rebolt all this now.
Okay, we just found our first problem. So new batteries in, we're putting the big red contraption on, and when we're trying to tighten down the positive terminal, it kept spinning around like a stripped bolt. Now, no one knows strip bolts more than me. Ask me how I know. Now, I pulled the little bolt off, and if you look at it, the threads on the inside are completely wiped out. So this will never work. And if you don't have a strong connection on the positive side, which I'm just saying right now, this is not the problem. There's no way in hell we got a car for that cheap for something as simple as that. There's no way. But that would cause problems. I'm going to basically source a new nut, and then we'll put it on and try to start this thing. So pulled the piece out. Now the problem is that the threads on this are messed up. Remember, this is what tightens the positive terminal. I put a new nut on it. The new nut got stripped instantly. This is like hardened. So I bought some hardened nuts, and you know, putting it on, you just kind of have to just tighten it down. It would be nice to use a die, but I don't have one right now. So this will have to do. Just tighten it. It'll kind of recut the threads for me. And this should, you know, work. It'll stay tightened and not keep spinning around.
Okay, luckily the nut worked. Noah picked up the right one and the positive terminal is now tight. But in typical Beamer fashion, there's more problems. Now, I don't think it's gonna stop us today, but basically we're missing a ton of battery wiring related to like the intelligent battery optimization software in the Beamer. Now, it should be fine to get the motor running, but that has to be addressed before the car gets driven a lot. So now that we are tightly connected to the battery, which is a good thing, that's something we gotta start researching.
Okay guys, we need to talk about the two bad boys hidden right down here. I'm talking about the teriyaki titty twisters. These things are insane. Now, they're supposedly 19T turbos. I'm not a turbo expert, but I could definitely see some different outlets. When we had the car jacked up, I was looking from underneath, and you can see that some stuff has been changed around. And we did some digging, and we found out that the previous owner, many owners ago that had this car, had a YouTube channel where he completely built everything. You know, we're talking ported fuel rails, upgraded injectors, high pressure, low pressure fuel pump, you know, the two 19T turbos, and on his page you can see him smoking Audi R8 V10s. We could see him smoking Hellcat redeyes, Shelbys, any fast car you could imagine. Now, I'm not going to show the video in this video because I'm not going to steal his content, but I will link his channel in the comments so you could check it out yourself. Now, there's a huge gap between him doing that a couple years ago and many owners, and then now us. I don't know if these turbos are any good. I don't know if the motor is good. I don't know what's going on with the car right now. I can tell you the blow-off valve has zip ties holding it together, got some zip ties on the intakes, all kinds of little jank things, which isn't the greatest thing to see, but nothing the Backspeed boys can't handle. Okay, new battery, battery's tight, time to start it, or at least try to start it. Now, usually you check the oil before you start a car that you know nothing about. Unfortunately, BMWs are really stupid. They don't have dipsticks, and you have to start the engine first. So we'll see what happens. Okay, lights turn on. That's good. Let's roll down these windows.
Oh, would you look at that, dude? That's a great sign.
We got working windows. Okay, I think I'm ready to crank it. Should I just go for it?
Go ahead. Crank this thing, dude. No way. Oh, I hear some noises.
We got some lights on the dash.
Do we?
Yeah. So we got braking, driving. It kind of sounds like it's running a little rough.
Ooh, it does sound like it's right. It does sound like it's running rough.
So we got brake pads are worn to the minimum thickness.
Here, turn it off. Turn it off.
Flat tire monitor.
It's running really rough, dude. Dude, a bunch of smoke just came out the back.
Did it? It's got some loud turbo noises. I like that. That's kind of cool. Holy cow. It's burning oil. You could smell that. It's really, really strong.
I mean, would it be a BMW if it didn't burn oil?
You know, normally I'd be like kind of like upset or something, but for a $1,600 BMW, I expect nothing less. Whatever.
Okay, so with all of the battery issues, I have major suspicion that the alternator could be in the mix of problems. So real quick, even with it running rough, I want to test what that alternator is putting out. Ideally, we want to see it charging, you know, up to close to 14.5 to 15 volts. Without the car running, that's not good. Oh, hold on, maybe I have a bad connection.
You have a bad connection.
There we go, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're at 12.1 with the car off at the alternator. So that's a pretty good sign. Now, I'm gonna turn the car on, and hopefully that number goes up to like 14.5. Okay, let's check it again. And, yep, to my suspicion, we got a problem. So it looks like the alternator isn't doing its job. Now, whether that's related to wiring possibly in the back of the car, or maybe this alternator is just toast. There's a really good likely chance that someone tried to put a dead battery in here and jump it, and maybe the alternator just got killed when they were trying to drive it and recharge it. Who knows? We gotta go from the alternator back and check all of the wiring and basically try to isolate to see if this alternator is toast or not. Oh, I hate wiring so much.
We're gonna just pull it off and take it to the store and see, have them test it.
I think we should just pull it off, take it to the store. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so far we know it doesn't charge, so I'm not gonna drive it a whole lot, but I wanna see if it'll even move. You know, we just fixed the transmission on the M6, fixed the transmission on the Mercedes. I do not want to do another transmission right now, but we'll see. Okay. Let's put it in the drive.
Hopefully, man, come on. Oh yeah, baby.
We're moving. Oh my God.
What?
The steering, like, it's like locking up. Yeah, it feels like there's no power steering. I haven't even gotten it up to see if it'll go through all the gears.
Here, try reverse. Try reverse.
We got reverse. Let's see.
Oh, it's running rough.
There we go.
Hey, it's got reverse.
Damn. Yeah.
Hey, well, at least we don't have to do another transmission swap.
Well, we don't know. We have to still drive it through all the gears to know that for a fact. Let's hear how it sounds.
Dude, this thing's a race car, dude.
Yeah, dude, you can hear the blow-off valve. It's really loud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sure, it's not a V8, but I mean, you can't argue with those turbo noises. I mean, those are just super cool.
Okay, well, this is so far good news and bad news. Now, real quick, I did notice this earlier, but I never opened it. That's the power steering reservoir. Just completely just sitting there with only being held on by a hose, which is extremely concerning. It looks pretty full to me. Might be a little low, but it's not that low. So
maybe the power steering pump is kaput.
Oh gosh, yeah, we may have to be replacing a power steering pump as well. So this is not going to be easy, to say the least. But hey, running car, $1,600. We got it running. It just needed a battery.
Well,
it's got a multitude of problems, though.
We still have to drive it. I don't want to jinx us. We still have to drive it, make sure it goes through all the gears, make sure it's not slipping.
It's true. It's true. Well, I would say so far this has been a mild success. Now we have to look at sourcing possibly an alternator. If it's not the alternator itself, it could be a ton of different wiring problems throughout the car. These cars are so overcomplicated. We now have to figure out why there's no power steering. Is the rack bad? Is the pump bad? Who knows? Is the reservoir clogged somehow? This is starting to look like a lot of work, but that sounded pretty cool, so I'm excited. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode, hopefully coming out probably next week, where we try to tackle some of these problems and I guess try to get maybe its first rip. I don't know. We'll have to see. Also, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Make sure to click that bell notification so you stay up to date. And like this video, guys. Comment down below what you want to see us do with this car. Should we just get it running and leave all the crappy bumpers and it be kind of like a sleeper? Or do we actually just restore the whole thing? Let me know.